Start.
Okay. Love it.
Hello, America and curling fans from Canada and Newfoundland. This is the latest draw from the MoPac 2022 mixed team playdowns. We're on sheet 6 for this draw with a match between the undefeated team Maxie at 4-0 and team. Want to make sure I get it right. It is Team Maxie. Well, we'll rejoin that in progress. Yes, Team Siggins. Team Siggins is throwing the red rocks while Team Maxie is throwing the yellows. It looks like Team Maxie is off to a fairly good start this end. As also it looks like Siggins is red. So Maxie's off to a good start. There's another sheet in play right now. We have the really good team of Team McDonald taking on Team Stephanie from One Country Curling on sheet 4. So if you're tuning in for the first time, happy to have you here. If you have any questions, feel free to put them into the YouTube chat, and I will do my best to respond when I can. Here comes the net shot from Siggins. And Siggins appears to have started the game with the hammer. So with 2 draws remaining in our round robin in this tournament, just to take a quick look at the standings while we're still getting underway. Team Maxie is 4-0 and the leader. Team McDonald is 3-1 with 1 game. So both of these teams have 1 game remaining to play, and this is it. This draw. Team Stephanie is 0-3. Siggins is 1-2. Team Mendoza, which is taking a bye, is at 2-2. And Team Howells, which is also off the ice this game, is 1-3. So both, as I said, both Maxie and McDonald are done after this game, so they will know their position. It looks like McDonald will need to win to have a chance to potentially catch up to Maxie because our tournament has a 2-loss rule in the round robin. So if you get through the round robin and you have less than 2 losses, you get a chance to go into the tiebreaker. This rack here from Siggins is coming down. Looks like it's just a little heavier than T-weight. And it taps the rock that was in the back 12. And so now Fred Maxie is looking at what shots to make. And I think he just wants to tap that red out and be sitting 3 or 4, depending on if the shooter sticks around. Maxie slid down to the other side, was talking things over with his front end. He regarded the first of his 2 skip stones here at the end of the first. So there's a pretty high guard that gets to run fairly easily. It does hit that red out, and the shooter goes to the back line out of the house. So now it's Team Siggins' chance to respond. That's a skip Michael Siggins that was sliding back to hack. And I think they just want to draw around those center guards, that center cover, and the yellow that was in the top 8, top 12. Looks like it's hanging out there though, and it is a little heavy, so it might not outcount. It wasn't going to outcount the some of the yellows, and it's not going to outcount the yellow that's sitting in the back 12. So I think Fred Maxie is going to do the same shot that he just threw. There are a lot of rocks in play this first end. Okay, so I think he called a different shot. It's not going to be a takeout. I think he wants to put another one toward the back of the house, maybe around. It's coming down to the back of the house, and it's actually going to sit on top of the red. So now it looks like Maxie is sitting 3, and Siggins is just going to have to draw to get out of this end with a single point. And here we go. Here he is his last shot, first end. Just needs to be a draw. It needs to touch full 8 foot for that single point. Sweepers did not lay a broom on it, and it was solid all the way through. Resting on the outer right of the 4 foot for 1. And so we are going to go into our first end with a score of 1-0 Siggins over Maxie. We will do our best to keep you updated on the game on the other sheet. That is sheet 4. That is our normal feature sheet, but we change things up because we can. You can try and stop us, but I don't know how you would do that. I guess it's possible. I do not want to tempt fate. So on sheet 4, it is a battle between Team McDonald, again the 3-1 Team McDonald versus Team Stephanie. And they are still finishing their first end. Their their hammer rock is being thrown right now by Skip Stephanie. And they also had a lot of rocks in play this first end. I'm going to ask coach of Team McDonald who scored.
Team McDonald got 2.
Team McDonald got 2. So Team McDonald jumps to an early lead of 2-0 over Team Stephanie. Back on our feature sheet, we are seeing the first rock of the end being thrown by Maxie lead Gabriel Coleman. She's returning to curling after a long break. She had lots of competitive curling from 2006 to 2014, including the Olympic trials in 2009. She wrote about her journey, and it's available as an ebook, where many you can acquire it at booksellers where many fine ebooks are sold. And it looks like that shot went to the top of the 8-foot. And now Team Siggins' lead, acting lead Eric Kowal, is going to respond. And it looks like they're drawing around the center guard. And it's going to land up on top or really close to that Maxie stone that was in the house. I think it tapped it slightly. So I think Fred Maxie wants Gabriel Coleman to draw into that cluster that's at the top of the house. Weight maybe a smidge heavier than it was for her first throw. And it is maybe a smidge wider too. Okay, so it looks like they wanted maybe to draw around that cluster, and if that was the case, mission accomplished. Now there's two yellows in the house. It looks like they might be out counting that red that's in the top 12. And so I think Eric Cowell is going to throw a dart at this. Not a dart. Not based on where the broom was. So Eric is the acting first. He was a 2021 MoPac Men's Champion and 2019 U.S. Club Nationals Champion. This one is going to be a tight guard or in the top of the house. It looks like it was able to make contact with the red that was in the top 12. So Team Maxie has to hammer this end, and so they would be looking to score multiple points if they can. This shot coming now from the second for Team Maxie, that is Dan Baresh, member of 6 state championship teams in North Dakota, and has played in 10 national championships, including 4 mixed nationals, 1 club nationals, 4 senior nationals, and 1 mixed doubles nationals. So that also settled into that cluster in the top of the house. The angles, I'm curious to see which team the angles favor. I think Team Siggins wants to try and get those yellows out of the can, at least get one of them out. And maybe if they kind of spread the rocks across the house too. They're sweeping hard. Ooh, and it wrecks on the guard, which may not be a bad plan B. But since that cluster is still available in the top of the house, Fred Maxie is looking to maybe add another one to the pile. Maybe also kind of looking toward the top of the reds to make it harder for Siggins to remove any of the Maxie stones without taking out their own. So another fun fact about Dan Barash is that the pinnacle of his curling career is having traveled 49,990 miles to Bonspiels with Michelle Wagner, who is the vice skip of this team. This shot looks like it's pretty close to being on target. It taps slightly and then rolls to the left. So there's not going to be an easy takeout for Siggins. Although I don't necessarily know if there was an easy takeout before. So now he's looking to maybe play off of his own stones into the pile. And this is the net shot coming from Claire Blasky, who is the acting vice. She was in the 2018 U18 Nationals for GLCA. Oh, this one's just a smidge wide and sails past the cluster. So, still looking at this cluster, which is it's in Team Maxie's favor. And this is the first stone coming from vice skip Michelle Wagner, who started curling in 2003, participating in 8 qualifying national events, 2 non-qualifying events, and an Olympic trial. So this one's going to be a little light and wide, although it's not as light as I thought. And now Siggins is kind of just playing directly on that red rocks on the right side of the cluster. Swooper is off of it, does make contact, gets rid of one of the yellows, and I think the shooter rolled out. So it's still a bit of a cluster for for both teams. So another fact about vice skip Michelle Wagner for Team Maxie is that more important than going to nationals 10 times is that since 2013 she's done 59 Bonspiels with second Dan Barash. And imagine that's a lot of travel. So here comes her second shot. It looks like it tapped the yellow guard, the middle yellow guard, and rolls the shooter towards the left. And so now Siggins and Blasky are in the house, looking to see what they might be able to do. So they don't have the hammer. And I imagine they're looking to try and prevent giving up a steal of more than one. Although the steal of more than one, Maxie is in a position to get a handful of points. So Team Siggins has to be very careful here. So as they're playing into the cluster, and I would think that might be the best bet, because with the guards scattered as they are across the width of the center, I guess, on the right and the left, it makes it very hard to do a draw successfully to the 4 foot, the red ring. It looks like I think they're going to try and do another takeout, maybe a raise of some sort. And the other thing that Siggins has to do is try to improve their situation without making it worse. Although we're pushing 40-pound stones across 140 feet of ice, curling is very much a precision sport. So Towel sweeping. Now Blasty joins in. So I don't know if they wanted to do a tap or a raise of any sort, or if they wanted to put that red into the cluster, which would make it harder for Maxie to get more than one out of this. I thought the one in the back 12 was a counter, but it looks like it's being outcounted by the red in the top 8 foot. So now this is a situation where Maxie wants to try and maybe open things up or push his yellows closer to the center of the house to get that multiple point score. So the brim's down. And Fred Maxie, the skip, is a 7-time mixed nationals participant and 2016 champion. So this is not his first rodeo. And here we go. Sweepers are called off. And it looks like there's 1 red, 2 red out of the house. And so now Team Maxie is sitting 2 with 2 stones remaining, 1 for each team. That was a great shot by Fred Maxie. So now Team Siggins has to think about this. I think maybe perhaps a draw to the back could be in play. I think that's what they're looking to dial up. There's a little bit of backing, and if they're able to rest right on top of that yellow, they would be sitting shot, and either Maxie could try and get that out, which would be pretty difficult, or just settle for a draw for 1. But this is not going to be necessarily an easy shot, especially because the play has not necessarily been to the back of the house this second end. Here we go, Michael Siggins with his last here in the second. No, Towel's sweeping hard. Oh, it needs to make sure it gets around those guards. Yeah. Oh, it just whips off of that top center guard. So it looked like it was a pretty good shot, pretty good weight. It just needed an inch less curl. There's an old curling commercial where they say, like, this other sport is a game of inches, and as a curler, I wish I had inches. And that is a common refrain. As like I said, curling is very much a sport of precision. where you want to hit the you want to place the rock in a precise spot, or you want to hit the stone on a precise spot. And this is a chance for Fred Maxie to hit this red and I think score 3. Supers are going hard. It looks like it's curling up a bit, so it needs to see if the shooter's going to stick around. Red goes out of the house. The shooter is rolling to the left towards the back 8, but it's going to stick around. And it's going to be a score 3 for Fred Maxie and his team as they now jump ahead 3-1 over Team Siggins after 2. I'm going to take a walk to see if I can check out the score on the other game. And that's the game between teams McDonald and Stephanie, I believe. Yes, that's correct. Oh, I can see that sheet. They are throwing their last rock in the second. There's a lot of rock in play in the house for McDonald and Stephanie. McDonald looks to be sitting shots. Looks to be sitting 2. But as Stephanie shots through a port in front of the house and is going to tap that red back. And it looks like it's going to be a score of 1 for Team Stephanie. So it looks to be I'll wait to see if they put the official score up, but it looks for now to be a score of 2-1 McDonald over Stephanie after 2. Back on our feature sheets, we are looking at the first rock from Team Maxie. And that looks to be going a little to the left in this view. The right from this overhead view. So it's a guard, but it's not necessarily in a good position necessarily, although that can change. The shot now coming down for Siggins. He wants to put up a corner guard. And it looks like it is curling up as a corner guard, so it's a little high. Gabriel Coleman gets set. Sweepers are really going hard. Looks like it's over the hard line. Going to be a tight guard. Actually, it might slip into the top of the house. And Siggins wastes no time to ask Cowell to draw around that corner guard that was put up. Either guard, looking pretty good, needs to get into the house, and it does. So Team Siggins is playing down a member. The lead, Kimber Maroney, was unable to make it due to the situation going on with the coronavirus. She is a jazzercise instructor extraordinaire and puts up with her fiancé, Eric Cowell. Next shot coming now from the Maxie second, Dan Varesh. I think he wanted to try and draw down to that red that Cowell just threw. Mission accomplished, as it does tap that red back to the left edge of the 12-foot. And so it's pretty close between the teams on which is second shot. Yellow is obviously the first shot in the left edge of the house. So with Team Siggins, because you're playing with 3 players, they've divided up the stones differently, as opposed to each player getting 2 rocks each. The first and second players get 3 stones, and the skip gets 2. So it's 3 plus 3 equal 3 plus 3 plus 2 equals 8. So it looks like Fred Maxie wants to draw around the red rock that was just put into place. Also about Eric Cowell, he was on the first MoPac team to win a World Curling Tour game, and also works in aerospace. So that rock is a mid-guard, and Siggins is now going to, I think, maybe try and clear it out, or maybe draw through the port in the top of the guard area. This is from where Blasky. Looks like I think they wanted to try and draw the port. It's a little light, and Siggins is coming out to offer his broom. And it does kind of go into that guard zone that a lot of these rocks have landed in so far this end. I think he wants to maybe put up a blocker, a guard, or if it goes into the house, just something to make it harder for Siggins to get his last stone toward the center of the house and to be shot rock. Oh, so it squeaks by that red and taps the yellow back. I think that was a good shot. Although I think it does offer an opportunity for Siggins to maybe hit and roll towards the center and through that cover. Under that cover. So it makes contact, but it's a nose hit, and the red just hangs around right where the yellow used to be. And so now I think the teams are trading kits. This next rock coming from the device skip for Maxie and Michelle Wagner. So it does hit the yellow and takes it out, or hits the red and takes it out. And the shooter also rolls out of play. This is the last rock of the end for Claire Blasky. So I think they wanted to curl it around those guards and get under cover. I think it rolled through. So it looks like Fred Maxie wants to do a similar shot to what he asked his vice to just throw. Just a draw to the top of the house and to close off the path to the button for Siggins. He gets set. Just a nice gentle push out of half. Sweepers are alternating, kind of being on and off. Now they're on. So it's going to curl around the guard a little bit and settle into the top 8 foot. So now for Siggins, I think a tough choice. He can't really draw around. He needs to make a play on the yellow rock. And I think it appears he's going to make a play on the shot stone. And ideally, he again I think wants to try and hit the yellow and roll under the cover. Here is his first shot. So hits the yellow out. And the red actually rolls to the right under the cover of the yellow corner guard. But it is still, Maxie is sitting 1. So I think Fred Maxie wants to do a similar shot, maybe not go as deep as the last shot. And ideally they would be, they need to be sitting shot. Or, let's see here, maybe they want to make a hit on that red that's also in the outer 8 foot, 12 foot area. But based on the way the stone's curling, I think they wanted to go toward the house. They're actually going to tap the yellow of their own and raise it. That looks pretty good. And so now it looks like Maxie is sitting 2, while Siggins has the 3rd and 4th rocks. However, it is only the team that is closest to the center that scores. The team that is second does not score anything. So for Siggins, I think they might be trying to draw the port. If they sit full 8 foot, they will get a single. there is his shot, the last rock of the third end. So, needs to get around that, get through that port. It is going to get through the port. Now they're going hard. Needs to get into the 8-foot. And it just barely does, it appears. So for that is a single for Team Siggins. And so we're going to take a minute timeout while they get everything reset, and we'll be right back from the 2022 MoPac Mixed Team Playdowns from the Southern California Curling Center.
Easy, right? Play them again. We had them 2 innings ago. Good deal. Yeah. You're a shot away.
So we are back as Siggins did score that single point in the third. We are heading into the fourth end with Team Maxie holding the hammer. After this end, we will be taking a 5-minute break as it is the halfway point of the 8th end game that we're playing this week. Ooh, squeaky, squeaky. So that turns into a high guard. That's something you might say to someone outside of Buckingham Palace. And now Gabriel Coleman, I think, is going to maybe draw around. Alignment's pretty good. It might not be curling enough if they wanted to try and get behind that corner, center-ish guard. And it does settle in toward the back of the 8, but not far enough to necessarily be an effective backstop for Siggins. This is Eric Howell's second. So we're going to go towards the center of the house, actually trying to land just behind the pin in the 2-foot, 4-foot area. I think Maxie wants to hit that out. Around the guard, he's going to go towards the red rock. Made some contact, but the red goes back and jams on the yellow that was placed as the first stone. Both teams moving pretty quickly. These games are being timed, and thank you very much to the volunteers that are helping to time the games. What's being timed is a time to thinking time. It's the time between when the last rock is thrown and the time that the team throws its rock across the tee line, the tee line from the delivery end. That is one of the rules of national and international competitive play. All right, so Team Maxie is sitting in 2 right now, under the cover of that really high guard, which Siggins now wants to get rid of. Looks like they're going to, I think, get it. And did they do? Actually, it runs back to the red that was in the back of the house. And it looks like that Maxie wants to put another yellow into the top of the house. And this is Dan Buresh's shot. So it's a guard. So wants to do some more clearing action, and it does clear one of the guards as the shooter runs towards the boards. And this is a ice center that has actual boards on roughly a third of the sheets, or 2/3 of the sheets actually. So Wagner's first is going to be another guard. Yeah, it looks like Siggins wants to just take that out. And here comes Blasky's last of the end. And it looks like it's going to hopefully clear out the guard. And it does. And the shooter rolls out of play. I think they might be putting the guard back up. And indeed it is. Siggins is looking over the shot, and I think he just wants to take out the guard one more time. They do not have hammer this end. So at some point they, I think, need to make the play into the house to just reduce the chance of Maxie scoring multiple points. Gets one, goes into the back, goes in the house, and clips one of the other yellows. And that is a double takeout. Good shot. Looking at the sheet for the game between McDonald of Coyotes, Wine Country and Capital, and Team Stephanie of Wine Country Curling. Looks like Team Stephanie stole a point in the third, and we are now tied in that game 2-2. Looking back at our feature sheet game between Team Siggins in the red and Team Maxie in the yellow, Maxie is sitting shot rock, and I think he is going to try and put a rock into place that will make it super, super hard for Siggins to score multiple points. Sweepers were on it early. So you want to make sure it gets through that port, which is not very narrow. And I think they maybe want to lock it right on top of the yellow shot rock that was on the right edge of the forefoot. And that is close, is not locked on. So that yellow that Maxie just threw provides excellent cover for the shot rock. And now with his last rock at the end, Siggins, which does not have the hammer, Maxie has the hammer. Maxie, I think, just wants to draw one under the center guard and be a sitting shot rock. And I think just force Maxie to make a hard shot to try and get that multiple point score. So Blasty has the broom down for Michael Siggins. Oh no, now calling an audible. So they were looking at the draw initially. Now Blasty has moved the broom back toward the right side. And I think Siggins wants to do the double takeout. And let's see if he's got it. That was pretty close. Oh, it crashes on the guard. So now that opens the door literally for Fred Maxie. And I say literally, not literally. It is a figurative literally. But it looks like Maxie has at least definitely one, likely two, and this is a draw for 2 or 3. So Fred Maxie has definitely had his pedal to the metal through this entire game and through much of this tournament. And here is his last, a chance for 3. They're just cleaning. Now their sweepers are doing a little harder. So it looks like it's going towards the yellow in the top right of the house. And it makes it a score 2 for Team Maxie. And they are now the owners of a 5-2 lead over Team Siggins as we head into a 5-minute fourth end break. We're going to take it 2, and we're going to be right back in just a moment. as our coverage continues from the 2022 MoPac Mixed Teams Playdowns. Live streaming of this and other regional competitions is powered by the 18 clubs and 1,500 members of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. Our mission serves to grow curling and foster competition in Arizona, California, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, and Utah. Visit mopacca.org today to find a club near you or for help starting a curling club in your community. All right, we are about to get underway here in the fifth end of a possible 8 here at the 2022 MoPac Mixed Team Playdowns. This is our feature sheet game between Team Siggins with the red rocks and Team Maxie with the yellow. And we just when we last left you guys, Team Maxie put up a score of 2, no, it was a score of 2. I apologize. So they have taken a 5-2 lead over Team Siggins. And the stakes are thus: Team Maxie is so far undefeated through this tournament, and if they win, they are guaranteed at least a tiebreaker. And then depending on what else might happen, they might be able to clinch the championship at the end of this game. Just to kind of recap the table, Maxie is at the top of the table with a 4-0 record. This is their last game on the ice. They have a bye in the last game of the night at 7:30. Also on the ice right now is Team McDonald, the team that might be able to catch up to Team Maxie. They have a 3-1 record, and they are currently playing Team Stephanie on sheet 4, which we are going to be updating as we go along. And so McDonald has a chance to catch up. They also have a chance to also go into the tiebreaker if they win this game, because our competitions in MoPac generally have a 2-loss rule where you have to have 2 losses before you can be eliminated from a round-robin play. So there's some pretty high stakes in this game, and we will see how it shakes out. And we're very glad that you're along for the ride. This is your announcer, Ryan Olson, and just happy to be your guide. So the net shot coming now from the acting lead, or first, Eric Cowell. Team Siggins is playing down a teammate. The lead, Kimber Maroney, is out with a coronavirus-related situation. We wish her well, and I know that her skiff, Michael Siggins, does as well. Some interesting things about Kimber is that she was the champion of the inaugural Hollywood 5 and Under B Reel Bondsville. And she was also a participant at the U.S. National 5 and Under Championship, which is actually going to be an official national championship administered by USA Curling. There's a lot of excitement for that, actually. And the championship is going to be hosted here at the Southern California Club coming up in a couple months. This next truck coming from the second floor team, Maxie Dan Baresh. And it looks like they want to throw, I was going to say throw a takeout, but I think they want to throw a, no, the weight fooled me. It's actually just a tight guard. And so now for Siggins, the red team, trying to find a situation to generate some offense, being down 3 with the game half over. And I think he wants to hit and roll the yellow Maxie stone that's sitting shot rock. And this is Cowell's chance. So now the sweeper clear blast is going hard. All the hard needs to make sure it gets around just through the port, around those guards. It's around both of the guards. It's going to actually just be a gentle tap of the shot rock yellow. And yellow is still shot, but red is moved a little bit to the right, and so there's a little bit of separation. But it looks like the separation is such that Maxie can hit that red rock on the left side and kick that red out, and then maybe roll the yellow shooter a little bit to the left undercover. He's also looking at a plan B, where it could be a guard. But it looks like he's calling for some takeout weight. And here is Baresh's stroke. So again playing through that port. It looks like it's a smidge wide. It's actually probably might. Okay, so I think it hit the yellow that was at the top. Maybe the red. But one of the reds definitely did leave the house. Yellow is still shot, and it's still a situation where Siggins can hit and roll to under some cover. They're kind of alternating sweep calls. Needs to make sure it doesn't tap the. Okay, it's around all the cover. It does get rid of the yellow and rolls just a smidge, not a lot, so it's still pretty open. And it looks like Maxie wants to trade hits. And this is Michelle Wagner's first. Okay, it looks pretty tight. It's going to hit one of the reds, the upper red, and the yellow is going to go sailing through the back of the house. Looking at our other game on sheet 4, the game between Team McDonald and Team Stephanie. Team McDonald went into the 4th inning break after scoring a deuce and jumped ahead. It is now a 4-2 game, McDonald over Stephanie, over on sheet 4. In our feature sheets, Siggins is supposed to be drawing down, I think wanting to be in the top of the house. And so now Siggins is sitting 3. And it looks like Siggins wants to just kind of start clearing some stuff out. Supers are on it, past the guard. It does touch them both and gets rid of the 2 reds. A double takeout. A great shot by Michelle Wagner. So now the house is more open, but Siggins is still sitting shot rock.
Yeah.
And this is Claire Blasky's chance to, I think, maybe put another win in. I think kind of put a rock in the top of the house to cover the shot rock or a guard. So it's going to wreck on the yellow, promote the yellow into the top of the house, but that red shot rock is covered. So kind of a mixed outcome. And it looks like Fred Maxie is asking Michelle Wagner to hold the room for a potential run-back double takeout. The distance isn't super long, so it is it is makeable. I guess it depends on your skill level. For me, it would be a perhaps tricky shot. But at the same time, if at the very least they get rid of the guard, it is a good thing. Sweepers are on it. It gets runs it back, it clips the red, and both of them go out of play. So another great shot for Team Maxie. And now all of a sudden, Maxie is sitting one in the top of the house. So Siggins is looking over kind of the shot, kind of starting to maybe try to draw on that right side, but now they're kind of considering the left side. And that seems to be where they've resolved to go. So again, with Siggins having the hammer, you need to try and find a way to generate multiple points. And now there's only 2 routes remaining for Siggins. I do have to say that he has a really cool broom setup. In the U.S., not a lot of curlers do this, but he has an old-fashioned corn broom, which they used to use into like the late 80s, I want to say, maybe earlier. Those were replaced, but a lot of people learned how to deliver curling stones with the corn brooms. And so a lot of people who learned that way have wrapped the bristles so that they don't drive stuff onto the ice. And so he's done that, and he also has like a metal plate so that even the tail of the broom doesn't drag on the ice too much, slowing him down or pulling him off balance. So his shot was pretty well executed. It settles in the back of the 12-foot, just beyond the 8-foot, and it looks to be shot stone. So I think Fred Maxie is going to play on it. Make a play on it. Or the other option maybe to tap back one of their yellows, but I think they might be drawing through the port. And here is Fred Maxie's last here in the 5th end. Calling him to just sweep hard. Looks like they need to get through the port. Oh, it's going to be a little over curl. It's going to tap the red up, but it's not going to do a lot of harm. And so now the draw that they were looking at Siggins was in the last shot is now available for a chance for 2 and to draw within 1 on the scoreboard. So this is a pretty big opportunity for Michael Siggins to get 2 out of this end. So here we go. This is Michael Siggins with the hammer in the 5th. Shots underway. Eric Cowell is sweeping. Now players coming out to help. Both of them are going. It needs to get there. It looks to be a smidge light. Actually, it also needs to make sure it doesn't over curl. It's super close. It's going to be around that cover. It's going to be touching the 8-foot for the point. And so that is 2 points for Team Siggins as Fred Maxie gives Eric Cowell a bit of a pat on the back. Just kind of underscoring the good sportsmanship that I think is a key component of the sport, where you cheer good plays and kind of reward good efforts. You want to win, but you want to win the right way. And if you like, also the rule, the spirit of curling is that you would rather lose if that would involve if winning would involve playing the wrong way. So it's just one of the great components of the sport. And a good end by Michael Siggins draws him within 1 on the scoreboard. It is 5-4, Team Maxie, as we head into the 6th end at the 2022 MoPac Mixed Team Playdowns.
That was a good call.
So if you look at the back of the window here, there's a clock. These events are being timed, as this is a competition that does result in a path to the Worlds. That is the end of a long path. The winner here will secure a berth in the U.S. Mixed Team Nationals. And then the winner of the Nationals does have a chance to go to Worlds. So this is the start of a potentially long journey. Hopefully it would be a very rewarding journey. And as part of that, they have clocks. This is Gabriel Coleman's first. And I think Fred Maxie wants her to draw around. A bit aggressive perhaps to start. And yes, it does draw into the house, top of the 4-foot. And now Siggins basically wants to like hit and roll that, and let's see if Eric Howell can execute that shot. I say hit and roll, it looks like it's wide, so he wants to maybe draw to it and maybe tap it back a little bit. Weight looks pretty good for a heavy draw. Looks like the line was a little wide. It does tap the yellow under the guard. And there's some separation between both those rocks in the house. And so now with that red rock exposed, tasty target, as it were, this is going to be Gabriel Coleman's chance to take it out. Rock comes down pretty nicely. It hits it on the left side. The red rock rolls to the right through the house, and the shooter rolls left. I just wanted to say rawhide because of all the rolling going on. This is another shot for Cowell. With his delivery, I would need to look at it more, but I wonder if he's coming out a little wide when on this turn. It's just kind of based on how he's holding the broom on the release. The shot, though, is curling up pretty nicely. It might be a little light if they wanted to get in the house, of course. It's a guard nonetheless. And so now it looks like Fred Maxie wants his second, Dan Baresh, to draw around. You may see some of these players wearing masks. We're all wearing masks in the building. Taking them out briefly if we're eating food or the like, but we are following several coronavirus protocols as part of the event, or for the event. And that also included showing vaccination, proof of vaccination, and recent negative tests. So we're all, it's still very much something that's with us, and hopefully we can work through it and continue to be safe while continuing to play. That shot was a draw. It looks like a very good place. I say a good place. It could be a situation where he might be able to get a double for Siggins. Siggins might be able to double those yellows out. He wouldn't necessarily be able to double the two left rocks because it's kind of thin. Although that could also be a plan B. And he puts the broom down. For Clara Blasky. Towel sweeping hard. So it looks like they're making a play on the rock on the left. Ooh, it's super close. So I think they wanted to try and do a thin double. That was a double combination I hadn't immediately thought of, where they wanted to hit the far left one thinly and then roll across and hit the shot rock yellow, the far right yellow. So now I think it looks like Maxie wants Resh to put up another yellow, maybe a guard or tech to the house. Although this looks a little heavy, so maybe he wants to tap back. Also, it's a little wide, too. Although it does roll behind cover somewhat of the yellow second shot. So Maxie has the hammer this end, and he's in a position to score multiple points, which is the dream, the goal. And so now for Siggins, it's either looking for a chance to steal or to force Maxie to 1. It would make sense for Maxie to score the 1, or to force Maxie to score the 1. It's a 1-point game right now. Yeah, it's sweeping pretty hard. Crashes on the red guard. It does open things up, which may prove true the adage that you can't go wrong clearing a guard.
You want top 4? Okay.
So it looks like Maxie just wants to sink another one. And this is the shot coming from Michelle Wagner. Weight looks to be similar to what Dan Baresh threw. So round the guard, and it's going to be behind cover about in the top 12. So it's now the fourth shot, but it just continues to amp up the pressure against Siggins. And so Siggins is looking at kind of some pinball action to get rid of some of these yellows. Got the broom down, and here is Claire Blasky. Cowell sweeping hard again. Another pistol, as I said. It's really close on the guard, and it does crash on the red guard. So now all the guards are gone. That's an upside. The potential downside is that Fred Maxie is sitting 4 in the house. So they had a measure on sheet 4, the game between Team McDonald of Coyotes and other teams, and Team Stephanie of Wine Country Curling. Looks like it was just a single. Just a single on a measure for Team Stephanie, so it is now a 4-3 game in favor of Team McDonald. And McDonald really wants to win to stay in the hunt for a chance to secure a berth in a tiebreaker for the championship. This shot from Team Maxie just puts another yellow into that pile in the front of the house. So this is a situation where Siggins is down 1. If they are not careful, they run the risk of giving up a steal of multiple points. And it looks like he wants to maybe start clearing away the front, which I guess would make sense. As someone, my level of hurling experience is way less than a lot of people here. Although there are a couple juniors who only have a year of experience. But I would think to maybe try and just draw now toward the button and reduce the scoring area, even though you're still running the risk of giving up 1 or 2 points. In this case, it looks like what Siggins wants to do is to get those yellows in the top of the 12-foot, top of the front of the house moving. And here it goes. Cowell's just kind of following it down. It's going to hit on the outside, going to get 1 out. The shooter's going to roll out as well. So it improves the situation somewhat, but Team Siggins is still in that bit of a jam while Team Maxie is looking at a fistful. Right now there's 4 golden girls in the house. We got a Dorothy and a Rose and a Blanche and Stella, I think, was the 4th one. But thank you for being a friend. And thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast. So Fred Maxie, I think, just wants to draw another rock into the pile. Maybe put one in the top, in the 8-foot, top of the 4-foot. Just basically kind of be counting, but also block off the path to the button so Siggins can't easily get into the center of the house. So calling the sweepers to go hard. Pouring on is going to be more of a guard. So Team Maxie is still seeing those 4 golden girls. And Siggins has a chance to do the draw that I was thinking about for his last shot. Just needs to make sure it curls up enough, and Siggins would be conceding, giving up 1, maybe 2. And sometimes it's the best you can hope for. Sometimes if you try to clear out stones and you miss, it just keeps adding up until you can't avoid giving up a lot of points. But here is Siggins with a draw. Needs to easily be full 4 foot to outcount all but 1. Cowell's sweeping. Waitlet's pretty good. Needs to make sure it gets around the guard, which it looks like it will. Weight's coming. Okay, the weight's coming. That's curling up pretty nicely now. Sweepers are going hard and needs to curl a bit more. Needs to go a little bit more, and it's a little bit shorter than I think they wanted. And so that is now Maxie is sitting 2. And they're looking at a couple different possibilities to bring some of those other rocks into play, or just do a gentle tap for 3, or angle out that red for 4, three, maybe 4. Could be more, but I think that's the most likely shot. I think I would do the tap, but if the slight angle takeout is there, then he could do that too. And here we go, a chance to really take control of this game. Fred Maxie. Supers are going. The weight looks like it could be enough to kind of angle out that red. It's over curling a little bit. It might crash onto the guard, and it does. So there's a deuce for Fred Maxie. So he does. He had a chance to really pile on the points, and ended up coming away with 2 to extend the lead to 7-4, a 3-point lead as we head into the 7th end. If you or your business would like to become a sponsor for MoPac, our competitions, or our streaming service, visit mopacca.org today and click on the contact link on the right-hand side of the page. We're a friendly sort and we buy things. Maybe you would consider sponsoring us. So it looks like the other sheet is still they're about halfway through the 6th end. And so we will update you on the score as it becomes available. But right now, Team McDonald has a 1-point lead over Team Stephanie, 4-3. We're about to get ready underway on our feature sheet with Gabriel Coleman throwing the first for Team Maxie. And ultimately, I think that was a good end for Team Maxie. They scored a deuce with the hammer in the even ends, and so if the game does go the distance, the 8 ends, they will have the hammer coming home in the 8th end. So for Team Siggins, they I think need to at least manufacture a deuce this end, and then look to steal the 8th if possible. And that would be a sound strategy. They could try and go for. I said they could try and go for 3 to tie the game up, but they would still need to steal the 8th in order to stay alive. So Fred Maxie has a rock in the top of the 8th. And I think they want to draw and tap it back. Or maybe just guard. This rock is going to be a little to the left of the shot rock. It actually makes contact on the shot rock and kind of splits them apart a little bit. And so now Siggins is looking at whether, I think, to maybe try and double those 2 yellows out. But remember, he needs to score at least 2 in his end. And so it might be a situation where you want to focus on kind of building up your offense before you start trying these takeouts. But it looks like they're going to go for it now. The shot's underway. Looks like this, it's over curling a little bit. So it might be looking at a plan, or that might be the plan all along was to draw it around. So it draws under the corner guard. And he may have had me fooled, but that looks like a good shot.
I said, yeah, it's for another guard.
Oh, I thought you said come around the guard.
So Fred Maxie, I think, wants to follow Siggins down with Dan Baresh's first shot. So Maxie is calling a hard sweep. Not enough to get around that guard, but it does tap the corner guard out of the way, and actually the shooter rolls into the house in the top 8 foot. So Maxie again has a lot of rocks in play in the top of the house. Looks like they're sitting at least one. And now I think Siggins wants to, maybe tap one of those yellows bad. Just based on the weight in the line. It looks like it's not enough to tap it back. It looks like it's going to settle in, not even as a corner freeze, but just kind of on the corner of the yellow, where it's fifth shot. And so Maxie just wants to make a play on the red that is closest to the center. A nose hit, just a slight roll to the left. Now Maxie is sitting what appears to be a 4 spot. So now Siggins, I think, wants to either throw a rock into the pile of yellows or maybe run the red into the pile. And this is the next shot coming from Claire Blasky. So it was not a lot of weight. And it's going to curl to the yellow on the left side, but just tap it back a little bit. So it improves the situation slightly, but Maxie is still sitting at least 3. So join us at 7:30 tonight, where we're going to have the last game of the round robin. So Maxie's on the right side of the sheet. Looks like to be throwing like a tap back weights towards the pile. And it squeaks past the red at the top of the house and puts another yellow around the 4 foot, like a pocket full of posies. That is a ring full of yellow rocks. That doesn't rhyme, but this is modern poetry. And so for Siggins, I think he might need to start playing into the pile and doing takeout. Yeah, like throwing it right into the center of that what some would call a crotch. And here comes the shot from Claire Blasky. Not a super upweight shot. It's going to be enough to maybe start knocking some of these loose, and it does move the two of the yellows around a little. But now there's kind of a now the yellows are spread out. There, I say there's a pocket for a pocket of reds for Maxie to use, but I think he wants to put a yellow right in front of that red little mini pocket. So based on it sounds like the weight's pretty good. Sweepers are going hard. Looks like it's over curling a little bit, but it is going to be in front of those two reds. I think close to where Maxie wanted it. So again, Siggins is facing some tough choices. There's not a lot of easy paths to the button. Looks like he wants to maybe run the yellow onto the reds. And here we go. This is going to be a tough shot, but there's a lot of weight on it. Oh, pretty well done. It gets rid of two of the yellows. And the shooter stuck around, it appears. So now the Team Maxie is sitting, I would say, 3. Yes, it appears to be 3. All right, and after some consultation, Michelle Wagner has the broom down for Fred Maxie's first shot. And I'm thinking they want to maybe draw or maybe hit and roll. But it's hard to tell from where she has the broom. But here we go with Fred Maxie's first of 2 stipstones here in the 7th. Worried about the line. Looks like it is. It's curling up okay. It's around the guard. And it does settle into the pile that has started to build up around the button. So now Maxie is sitting 4. It looks like. So they're again looking over the situation. It's still not a great opportunity for Michael Siggins, especially with Maxie sitting 4. It looks like they have resolved to make a play on the red. I'll probably run that red back into the pile. This is definitely a shot where he again kind of wants to start removing a couple more yellows. I think if he's lucky, he will be able to get rid of 2. And maybe nudge a 3rd out of the way. But Michael Siggins gets settled in. This is going to be I think a pistol. as Blasky gets ready to watch the line. Line looks pretty good. It hits it just to the left, and so the red rolls to the right and kind of moves at least I think one of the reds out. Ready to watch the line. Line looks pretty good. It hits it just to the left, and so the red rolls to the right and kind of moves So one of the yellows did roll toward the back of the house, but it looks like it stuck around. There's not great odds that will come into play. It could though. It's curling. So I think it looks like Fred Maxie wants to maybe draw into the pair of yellows that's around the button, or maybe put up a guard. Definitely doesn't want to be heavy. He's kind of letting his front end know what's what. Here we go. This is Fred Maxie's last here in the 7th. So with the weight, it looks like it might actually kind of tap one of the yellows back. It did slow up, so it is kind of providing cover in the top of the house. Excuse me. So Fred Maxie is sitting 3 with some cover. Also, as part of the rules for this tournament, teams are afforded, I think, at least 1 timeout per game. If there is an extra end, they are awarded an additional timeout. That just stops the clock and allows teams to kind of talk about their shots a little bit more. And if there's a coach in the field, the coach can come out and advise their team. As far as I know, there's only 1 coach in this field. That is Patrick McDonald, coaching his daughter's team. And they've been doing pretty well so far. So, clock is still running. They have not called the timeout. They have all 3 of the available players talking it over. So you do have those 3 yellows that are kind of scattered around the button and the bat forefoot. You have 3 reds to kind of counterpose that on the left side, but there's not, I think, any way to really remove all 3 of those yellows to really swing things in favor of Team Siggins, which is the red. I think they're maybe kind of looking at hitting the red rocks to kind of shift the reds towards the center and maybe kick some of those yellows out of the way. That's a super tricky shot. It looks like they went back to the center, and it looks like he wants to run the yellow back onto the yellows and maybe just like throw a missile at that top yellow into the pile of yellows and get them all moving. That I have to say the level of difficulty is quite high for Michael Siggins, and here it goes. Towel sweeping hard, pardon me. Needs to hit the yellow in the right spot, and it does not hit it on the right side. It hits the red, and that's exchanges of gratitude, which is going to wrap up the game as Maxie stole 3 or 4 in this end, and creating a bit of an insurmountable lead for Team Siggins. So that will wrap things up for the feature sheet. Gonna put my head around to the other game happening, Team McDonald, the 3-1 McDonald's taking on Team Stephanie. They are still very much in their 7th end, so we might, maybe do some bonus calls. Maybe change the camera angle if we can a little bit to show what's going on. But for now, Maxie has, at the very least, secured a tiebreaker. Depending on the outcome of the McDonald game, he could end this draw as the champion of the 2022 MoPac Mixed Team Playdowns. So you can kind of see in the upper left-hand corner, let me remove the scoreboard. All right, let's move it out of the way. So if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you can see the rocks in play for the feature sheet. And so Stephanie has the broom down for the vice skip. Katie fell. They're playing with 4 today. They started the tournament with 3, but they were able to get a 4th for the weekend. So right now the score is 5-3 in favor of McDonald. Stephanie does have the hammer, playing the yellow rocks. Okay, so that was McDonald's shot, and McDonald put up a guard, which looks to be in their favor because they are sitting 3, I believe. They're sitting 3 without the hammer in the 7th. Oh, sorry. Katie Feldman is playing lead. And so now Skip Dan Stephanie is talking things over with his vice. Oh, that also now that Stephanie has a 4th, they were able to change their order. So now Stephanie can throw last rocks. I mean, previously when they were with 3 players, they had Feldman throw lead, Stephanie threw second, and then the vice skip threw last. And that would be Eileen Barber. Mike Fromm is the second. And Katie Feldman, as I said, is the lead, while Dan Stephanie is the skip. Here comes Dan Stephanie's first. I don't think that shot changed things too much. Although it looks like McDonald might be sitting 4. They have there's two Stephanie yellows touching the 12-foot ring, but McDonald has 4 that are solidly in the house. So now this is Andy McDonald's last. It looks like I think they want to maybe kind of close off the path to the button, because there's more space on the right side of the sheet from our view. Swoopers are on it, but they don't want to touch the yellow. They kind of just kiss the yellow, and no harm done. So now for Stephanie, for his last, he has the vice skip, Aline Barbary having the broom on the left side of the sheet from our view. Curious about what shot he has in mind. Excuse me. He's throwing, looks to be backline weight, maybe a little bit more. Feldman's sweeping it. Well, third Brian Feldman is just kind of watching the action. It hits yellow onto yellow, but not enough to get. That looks to be a score of 4 for McDonald. And that is enough. That is it. Concession by Stephanie means that McDonald has won. And so with Maxie and McDonald finished with their round robin play, it does appear to be that at least one tiebreaker may be needed. As I mentioned before, you need 2 round robin losses to be eliminated from the tournament, and McDonald only has 1. So it looks to be at least one tiebreaker. They might do the tiebreaker in the last round robin spot at 7:30 p.m. because that is an available there's a sheet available, and they're both off. So that is a fascinating outcome. So congratulations to McDonald, and congratulations to Team Maxie for ending the round robin, their portion of the round robin, with the undefeated record in the for Team Maxie and a 4-1 record for Team McDonald. We saw Team Maxie secure his run through the round robin with an undefeated record over Team Siggins. And we will be back tonight at 7:30 p.m. to see the last round robin game. Just a quick reminder that this game is presented by the authority of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. Any retransmission or reproduction of this event without the express written permission of the association is strictly prohibited. But, we're friends, so we trust you. Definitely want to thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you'll join us again at 7:30, where we have another exciting curling game on tap. For all of us here at MoPac and the Southern California Curling Association, this is Ryan Olson saying good day and good curling.